Okie. Itamexkanatani. Good morning. It is just after 8 o'clock in the AM on Sunday, December 19th, 2021, in the lunar cycle. Misamigo Komiatos. The long night's moon. And I'm up, obviously, making coffee, obviously. Today is the Christmas Bird Count for Lethbridge. Every year, all across North America and beyond, people go out during the week before and after winter in organized groups to cover 26-kilometer wide diameter circles of area and count birds. Count the species, the numbers, the sexes, if they can sex them. And for Lethbridge, Sikohkotok, today is the day. So it looks like we have pretty good conditions, no wind. It's about 9 degrees below zero, snowy. Here's a bird. Or snow on the ground, not snowy. But the wind thing is the big thing. I'm glad to see there's no wind. Just going to get my coffee to go here and head out the door. And we'll see you at Spopikimi, probably at the river where we start counting geese. It's so quiet here. Well, if you block out the noise of Highway 3. Saw about 6 magpies around the highway bridge over here on my way in, so I'm counting them within my space. I also noted that there's geese on the river just beyond the bridge, but I will be able to count them from my space, so we're gonna head there first. There goes a, you're not gonna see it with this camera, but a ringneck pheasant just went up off the edge of the side of the levee there. Might be able to catch him with my Sony if I switch over real quick. Hold on. No luck locating that pheasant on film. I'm on the opposite side of that levee now, dropping into the Owlwood. A little bit slippery here. I notice coyote tracks. Coyote tracks. Coyotes are the only ones using this path right now. Hint, hint. Currently walking toward the Highway 3 bridge so I can count the geese that are just beyond it. But even on this side of the bridge, you can see there are a lot of geese here for me to count as well. And this is normal. Every year, this is kind of where I start. So they're just kind of waking up now. Haven't headed to the stubble fields yet. I'm lucky because normally I'd get out here just a little bit earlier, but I've been a little winter shy this year and a bit of a sleepyhead. And being out here at 9 o'clock rather than 8 o'clock is not particularly excusable, but it is what it is, and the geese are cooperating too, so no worries. All right, coming within view. Oh yeah, I gotta be careful here or I'll spook them. This is where my count begins. Let's put it on video here quickly, in case for some reason I lose them. Let's just use this window that the bridge provides in our architecture of rectangles. Please see the video that I have called Beware the Rectangle. Alright, I'm gonna now count them. And I just scared 2 mallard drakes. I think both of them were drakes. They were over here on this side of the river, right along this crag, and I walked up on this bar, which was a little bit presumptuous of me, but I was only thinking of the geese out here who seemed to be quiet at the time, and now they're quite alert to my presence instead. At least their guards are. So I am going to, let's show this on film. This stretch of geese from start to finish. There's the bridge, right? I counted 260 above the bridge. So now we're gonna get this on film, and then I'm gonna count myself, and we'll have the film, and we'll have the actual count that I make, and somebody can go and if they really want to, like, check and see how accurate my eye was as compared, because I think the camera's getting a pretty good view, you know? I mean, not my eye, I use binoculars, of course, but when I'm counting geese this close together, sometimes, you know, it's just my awareness of the size of a goose body. There goes a magpie. Where are you going, magpie? Where is he? Just passing the bridge or something. Some such. Fuck, I missed him. Anyway, I'll add him, number 7 magpie, to my list. And that's the geese, I think. See if there's anything more that we can see along this open strip. Got to be looking for golden eyes. Should have our eye out for, oh, there's some more, a little pot of geese down there. Hey, should have, and now just to give you perspective of where that's at, should have golden eyes on the count today. Hopefully a kingfisher, although I know he's only hanging out from, you know, the previous video, the beaver video that I made a week or two ago, a couple weeks. Oh, there we go. So we got some more geese to count downstream a bit. Oh, there's another magpie. 8. That we got. Where you going, buddy? When magpies are going somewhere, it means there's a food source. Like this early in the morning, magpies like, I'm headed out. There's something going on down that way. And you know, that might account for the coyote tracks too. Because, shoot, I'm probably not going to be able to show it to you accurately here. No, there's just too many human tracks. But those tracks that were in the North Wood here continued on under the bridge. And I think there's at least 2, probably 3 of those prairie wolves, which is something, kind of a discovery for me, because I haven't had a good little pack hunting at Spokane for a while. I'm happy about it. But alright, I'm gonna make my, yeah, there's probably food down that way, and that's where maybe the wolves were headed, and obviously the magpies. I'm gonna make my count. Alright, I was just walking away from the geese, and I counted about 343 geese. What am I looking at here? I'm looking at a chickadee, a black-capped chickadee, actually a couple of them that flittered in, whistled at me, as they usually do. Neat bomakiks. They like to make their presence known, and usually they'll come close, and if I had some little seeds in my hand, they might even come like eat right out of my hand. The winter chickadees are pretty brave. Here in Lethbridge, we haven't really had a tradition of feeding them from hand like you see in some cities. Where are we? I know there's some flitting around. I think I just keep getting them off camera. Where are we? You see him? Or her? Yep. Going down. Fuck. My hand is cold, and my camera is probably colder. These Sony cameras are not made, just the ones you get for retail are not made to handle these kind of winters. So sorry to just give you a little view of branches and shit rather than the birds themselves. I actually thought they would come closer again, as they normally do, and sometimes they'll travel with a woodpecker too. It's their way, especially when it gets colder like this. But anyway, one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 below, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 72 I counted there. Don't know what in that pocket behind, or whether that's the same group. No, I think they're just rounding back. Okay, so I counted 72 in the air, and I'm going to count these geese along here. I've just come to a new position. Obviously, there's a lot of goose activity going on. This is what I hope to get to the river beforehand, so that these numbers don't get mixed up. But they're going to get mixed up, and there's people like counting on the other side of the river too. So, you know. But anyway, I'm going to make my count here. Yeah, you hear the magpie? It's a magpie in the background. Count another 72 in that pod. Well, plus there was a few that came before it. There's geese splitting off of this group down here, and it's almost easier calling them in the air when they come off. But we're at 72 coming off of that shelf right now. And then you got these weird pockets, like, what are these four doing? Where are you going, buddies? Where are they? Can I show them? There we are. Where are you going? Did you split off of that group? Did you come from elsewhere? I have been counting some that came, it appears, from Henderson Lake, because they rise over this ridge in big pockets. So we're getting more on our count in that respect, but they probably already been counted at Henderson too. God damn, if the kingfisher didn't just fly past me. Yes, and he's landed in this tree so I can get evidence. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The kingfisher. Okay. I'm not going to go toward him. He's probably going to have a bad day. But I got him on my count. Right there. And he's out. Who do we have here? Is this a flicker? I believe that's a flicker. Hanging out unusually in a sense on that branch, the way he's sitting, but yeah. Flicker. This guy just wants to be on film. What is it? Gerwako. What? What? Yeah, you guys, our count is off. Anybody has been trying to keep count with me? Your count's gonna be off because events like this, I've just been like stopping and counting. Hey? To the best of my ability. I gotta cut this video off because it hinders me. How many times in your adult life have you tried counting to, 700, 800, 1,000? Haha. Only the nerds. I'm up at 712, and I gotta get myself past this certain point that I have kind of etched out among the geese, and count the ones that are up ahead. I think there's more than 1,000 geese that have been on the river just in this stretch. Well, I know there's more. I'm counting them. So my total count since the last tabulation, let's see, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 58. 1,158 I have to add to my count for geese that have been along this last stretch. It's getting up there. Oh shit. That's what I'm worried about. Ah, yes. Look who we've got here. Oh, where'd they go? A whole pocket of golden-eye ducks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With their leader up ahead. 6 golden-eye ducks. More than 1,100. Oh, look at this. Off they go. Just noticing I have these 2 male mergansers hanging out as well. 3. That's pretty cool. Pretty good day out here at Spokane for a bird count, man. I'm really happy. Just noting the presence of a young porcupine high in the canopy of the owl wood. Haven't had a porcupine around. I don't think I've seen one here since the fire. So, yeah, today is nice. This reminded me of the Spokane of old, with all of what's happening this morning. I'm loving this. Just saw a couple of magpies fly up into the canopy of the owl would as well. This is just so awesome and vivid, this landscape. When we get into the winter like this, it's cold, it's harsh, but it's also kind of beautiful. And if you can survive it out here, you're a different kind of being. I don't know, man. The other day I was sitting at home looking outside and thinking how alien we were. You know, what pod people. The snow and the ice was calling me and saying, you know, come try to live out here. Not likely. We already counted them geese. Let's look at this crazy ass turkey out here. Aww. Camera's not focused in on him. There we go. What you doing out there, buddy? Ringneck pheasant. Walking on ice. Walking on water. I'm alright. Just get behind the shield of this steel tree here. That's pretty funny. Oh, when the shield moves away, off he goes. He just flew off this way. Anyway, got a male to add to the count. Had that female earlier. Quite a view here. Now you don't really hear the highway so much as the water. Let's try to add some of these guys to my count while they're in view. Check it out, this is kind of cool. For the full-on nerds, we have mouse activity here. Now I'm not sure whether this is a deer mouse or jumping mouse or what kind of mouse exactly. But there's mouse activity, and what's really cool when you get in with a flashlight and stuff, you can see there's like seed pods, or like, it looks like almost like millet, hey? Millet seeds almost being stored in here. I know it's not millet, but whatever they have, they've stashed some stuff in here. It's not from the sage plant itself that it's stashed in, so I'm not sure what it is. Well, I just don't recognize it, which is another funny thing. But they pulled it from somewhere here and hidden it, and they're accessing it in the winter. yeah, I had, of course, a little bit of an ethical decision to make back there, right? Like somebody in that same situation trying to learn shit out here might have taken part of the seeds that the mice had stored. But myself, I kind of feel like if I don't recognize that plant, and it might have been, by the way, you know, now that I'm thinking about it and stuff, it might have been some sweet clover, but I don't know. I didn't recognize it, and if it was sweet clover, I think I would have. But it's my fault that I can't recognize it, and the mice don't need to pay me a tribute for my lack of knowledge. You know, it should be the other way around. If I had something to leave there that they could snack on, I'd have left it. I don't, because I'm still a little bit short-sighted. I come out here with a flashlight aiming to poke around, but not with anything to offer. Male pheasant number 3 and 4, 5 and 6. You see them up there? Might even be a 7th. Yep. All the boys are hanging out together this time of year. See, that kind of stuff is interesting to note too. Just coming along the water canal, outlet canal from Heritage and Ridgewood. Iced over since we last visited during the beaver investigation. It's been much colder now. I just heard a thumping on the ice. Still would like to get, on my count, eagles at the very least. Maybe some tree sparrows. Maybe some doves. Like pigeons, you know. I would love to get an owl, great horned owl. Haven't seen one for a while. Looks like somebody tried to walk down there. Raccoon. That's who. Walking on the water there. That's cool. See, even a sign like that, I get to count on the bird count, you know, seeing a raccoon track, knowing that they're active out here, you know. That's all good citizen science. But yeah, there's still a few species yet I'd like to find, and we got to start going up and down the coulees to find them. Yeah, it's just kind of thinking about how rude it was to come out here for the day without bringing anything to offer in the middle of, you know, the cold, bringing no food. And when I think about it, when I just, you know, sit back and reflect on it, really, I think the humans, we hoard the food. I mean, I already was conscious of how we hoard our own bodies and stuff like that. Like, we are very selfish to the extent that we won't even give back. We consider our bodies, I mean, we label it as biohazard or something like that, right? And it has to be, either it has to be contained in a casket. I mean, I've talked about all this stuff, or it's got to be flamed. You know, all the stuff that they take out of your bodies in surgery and stuff, all that stuff is incinerated, and there's heavy chemicals and shit involved, you know. Sometimes in the preservation of the specimens and all that shit. I mean, it's just it's bad stuff. But we don't give back our bodies. We don't even like to some extent we don't even give back our, we don't give back our shit or our piss even, you know. This is how we are. Like, we're very selfish, we're mining, we're taking. This is the culture, not necessarily us. Like, not us as human beings, this is not our nature. But this is what we've kind of become culturally, because we're insensitive, you know, and selfish. And we should be, you know, somebody like me coming out here, I mean, we've hoarded all the food. Like, we literally, like, we defend other species off of any kind of food that's gonna be yummy to us, and we are super omnivorous. So, like, a lot of the potential food stores that are gonna make any sense to any, you know, larger mammal or bird or anything, we're gonna get at, hey? Including like the smaller animals and that kind of thing, and some of the big ones, right? Mostly, like, a lot of the big ones, but yeah, we hoard food, and then we keep it, and then we'll let it go bad rather than give it away, and even to ourselves, you know. Nonetheless, these other animals, and when it does go, like we trash it, we throw it away rather than feed it to something that could eat it, you know. At least everybody should be allowed to have a goat, you know, in their backyard. If not a pig, some chickens, so we can recycle some of our food hoard waste, at least at the consumer level. It's the big operators that are the real problems, you know, but they got to keep us fed because we're not living like humans. These are the things I'm thinking about while scanning for birds, unsuccessfully at this point in the bird count. So 2 hours into the visit out here, and just now starting to head up the first incline. Gonna have to go up and down the coulee 2 or 3 times at least, I think, to really get a sense of what's in these draws, because it's these, you know, choke cherry covered coulee draws that hide some birds as well. So gotta do what we gotta do. Climbing, descending, on foot is what it is. I miss running these trails. This is a really nice area to run. I mean, not that it's inaccessible to me right now, but where I used to live in Heritage, my house, I could just easily come down here and well, I just run out my front door. Those of you who've been on my channel long enough can remember. And soon enough I'd be out here. I am noticing that these sage plants do in fact have seeds bearing resemblance to the ones that I saw the mice eating under a sage plant. So maybe my initial assertion that these were not sage seeds, because I wasn't seeing any sage leaf behind them, as I do now. but looking at the golden kind of flower remains and the way the seeds are packed, I would say that's the seed that we saw earlier under the plant. So mystery solved there. A little bit less ignorant now. And we get to see another of the foods that mice really like this time of year. I've noticed those same, like the jumping mice and the deer mice, they store choke cherries, pits, they store a lot of, and my students online have noticed this too, all over as far up as Edmonton. A lot of choke cherry and a lot of licorice seed, wild licorice. They just open the burrs and take those seeds. I'll find some evidence of that today. I'll show you so you can see what that looks like. But I hadn't noticed them going after the sage seeds before in such numbers that they would pack down the snow like that. So that's kind of a cool learning for the day. I don't know, when we get up at the top here, I might cross the street to the convenience store and grab some peanuts or something to mend my take some food from the human world and come leave it out here. Too bad I didn't grab the steaks that are going bad in my refrigerator. I can always bring them later. This guy flying in to check out the scene. 4 female magpies just made their way around the bend of this coulee draw away from me. I fleshed them out even fairly distant, you know, like this magpie knows. Almost to the top. Some geese there. So it's about 15 geese that just flew by. Sorry. And then somebody's coming down this way. Looks like another magpie. Where are you going? Where are you going? Coming to join us over here? What's up? Just like flying through. Just passing through. He landed. Yeah, he landed down there. These guys, they're just checking what's up. There's probably a couple here, these two that are moving through the coulee together. They don't got a bead on nothing. So that coulee draw that I just walked up has a lot of historical significance, recent historical significance, just because that's where there was a really big battle that took place between the Blackfoot and the Cree, kind of at the end of that era of such things. Any case, and the Cree were routed in that coulee, of course. Blackfoot victory. Fortunately, in this day of age, not too far ahead of those times, I have in my hands something of a multi-pass, to use a reference from one of our movies. Yeah, I have a card here that allows me to go into merchant operations pretty much anywhere in the world and show that I have so many Canadian credits in our big game of human energy exchange, and it allows me to exchange some of those credits into whatever money I need to do wherever I'm at. And today I'm in Canada, so it's just a one-for-one thing. So I'm gonna go into the store and buy some peanuts in the little packages. We'll look at those. Well, this was recently a bird. Not so much anymore. So yes, I was able to use some of my Canadian credits to enter the mercantile up here and purchase one Arizona hard iced tea along with a bag of peanuts and Big Chief beef jerky. The original. Because yeah, man, like this culture is pretty funny. And the Big Chief beef jerky, by the way, pretty rodent proof packaging, sorry, with the foil. The peanuts, insect proof, not so much rodent proof, but there's a little bit of a barrier there. It's more for, obviously the packaging is a per serving thing for us too. It's a sale unit for us that's based on our needs as well. But I think also when we think about our hoarding, is this where we're going? Could be. But for today, I'm still going out this way. And up here, on the outskirts of Ridgewood and Heritage, I get a real sense of the prevailing winds of the day, and it's super cold. Like, I gotta get out of this. I don't want to be up here. I'm gonna go back down the coulee draw. I'm gonna go down into what's called the Muff, which is real, for Lethbridge kind of famous bike trail, and we're gonna go down through there. It should be familiar to some of you. So far, really no small birds, the sparrows and such that I'd expect, along these chokecherry stands and such, just taking advantage of the sage and sunflower seeds and all that kind of stuff. Nothing like that in here. No red poles. I've got red poles in certain years. It's been a long time since I've seen many partridges around. We used to have a lot more of the gray partridges. I'm not scaring any of those up these days. Yeah, for winter birds along this area, not much going on. We're about to drop down into the Muff proper, which is the lower trail over here, cutting through the chokecherries. One of my favorite old running trails. There's another female pheasant. First bird I've seen in this bird tour for a while. pass over the ridge. Hasn't resurfaced. I'm just coming up to the mouse area again, where I want to leave seeds, and of course now the eagle's like, hey, you gotta look up, not down. But no, I'm back here with the mice for right now, and I'm gonna leave an offering. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was an eagle that I saw. I know my bird of prey silhouettes in the winter around here pretty good. So let's drop some munchies in here for these mice. Okay, dude, that's a lot of munchies. I'm gonna hide them a little bit so the magpies just don't pick them off already. Not that I have any issue with the magpies either, but I kind of want the mice to enjoy some of this good fortune, abundance, and good fortune. Kind of the same thing. I've been thinking about this duality a lot. Not necessarily duality, but the two seasons and the way that they kind of affect our desires and our expectations in life and all of that kind of thing. So escaping from danger, gamotan, and good abundance and good fortune, stoapi, and those are cross-cultural mega values right there, things that you wish on people. Of course, we wish it on people, and we say we love this world, and then we hoard. Yeah, down one coulee draw, up the next. So I'm gonna climb up here, use these stairways that are just now following an old bike path to get up here, and then we'll go close underneath the bridge. There's probably some doves around, we'll see, and drop back down to the pond at that point. All up in here, what this is, well, it's not what it is, but part of its history was underground here. There's a mine that was the last coal mine in Lethbridge, World War II mine, operated from I think 1940 to 1943, and exploded, killed the guys who were working in there. Their bodies are still underground here, and there ain't been no coal mines in Lethbridge since. But that's what this place was originally known for, is the coal, by white people, not originally known for. Originally, this place is important because it is the first river nexus between the North and South Blackfoot territory. So it's the first, when you come up the St. Mary's River, now called the St. Mary's River, from Lower St. Mary's Lake in northern Montana, you come up and you meet what's now called the Old Man River. Used to be the Belly River in Blackfoot. You meet that right here this is the first kind of entry into the South Saskatchewan drainage basin. That's why it was important, and the Blackfoot held the South Saskatchewan drainage basin as part of the territory. South Saskatchewan and Upper Missouri, it's all Blackfoot, two lodges. So there's the old mine back in there. It's all sealed up and stuff. Might as well go look at it, since there's not seeing any birds around at the moment. But we do have here pheasant tracks. So yeah, here's the old mine entrance, all boarded up and sealed up with iron now, steel, giant railroad ties, not getting in or out of there. But up there is an old vent, because when it exploded underground, that heat, it's still there. There's this remnant of it that's still smoldering. And when it gets really cold here, minus 20, 30, 40, you can see the steam coming out of that vent. I've showed it in some of my videos before. Anyway, just a little distraction, but coming up the hill here, looking for birds. None too successfully at this point. Yeah, these areas here can be really good for small birds sometimes, but not seemingly today. I'm not finding anybody. Maybe because most of the berries that we did get were eaten this year. We just didn't have enough to go around, really. I'll come up here and look at that vent I was telling you about. Not that I think it'll be steamy today, but I just want to show you where it lies. It's just over here. This is coming down from Heritage Heights. If you ever want to come look at the place yourself. A little slippery here. Ooh. By the way, if you come in the summer, beware, because all of this is snake territory. But here is the vent going down into the old coal mines. Always still warm. You can see how the ice responds to that. Even though we can't see it venting today, I can feel it. It's warm. There's moss, green moss, growing in here. Hey, in the midst of this cold, and just outside, this is the world. Some crazy stuff. So, just about on the coulee rim now, but I don't think I'm going to cross that threshold up there because it's just going to expose me to wind. It's not going to be any fun. I think I'll just hang here on this deer trail and make my way over to the high level bridge. And we should find, at the very least, some pheasants around the high level bridge, but kind of hoping we find partridges. I'd like to get another look at that hawk that flew past. We'll see. Lost him. Oh, there you go. Well, you guys didn't get to see him. Shit, again. But look at this. You see that? That action there? Whoop. Fuck. I'll have to see if any of this shows. Basically a hawk swooped over here, and now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 doves on the railroad bridge. They were freaked out by the hawk. That hawk almost had like, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to look. I don't think it was a rough-legged hawk, but it's about that size. A lot of gray speckled plumage. I'm gonna check it out. It's not a, definitely not a red tail or a swans. It's a broad winged hawk. Oh, look who we got here. It's a little falcon just passing me by. I don't know if you're seeing him in my view camera, but that's a little falcon that just flew past, really swift, heading out that way. That was a merlin, I would say. On camera, and you guys don't think I'm like fooling myself, but it's hard to see if I get it in the viewfinder. Some of this action, especially just one really small falcon flying past. Alright, one of my cameras has died now. This one's probably not far behind. Just dropping down from Heritage below the high-level bridge. Like I was saying, there's still beacon back that way, the pond, Beaver Lodge and all. So we'll be headed down there, but first making our way kind of down through this coulee system. I was really trying to explain to Britt, you know, what it is I'm doing, because it is kind of strange, eh? I'm gonna have to show her that movie, The Big Year, with Steve Martin and Blackjack, and that's a good kind of birder-oriented movie. But in general, it's pretty hilarious. You know, I broke it down to her. I'm like, hey, let me tell you some white people history. In case you don't know, not too long ago, in the era of John Audubon, the guy who's famous. Oh, there goes another 2, 3 female pheasants just made their way out from me. This is who I knew we'd be finding here. I should be quieting down, but let me tell this little story quick. So, John Audubon, the dude who's famous for drawing all those nature photos of birds and stuff, in his era, they used to go out on Christmas Day or the week before or after Christmas or whatever your town was doing it, and there was like a contest who could kill the most birds. And the Brit's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I know. It's either why, and I said just to see how many you could kill. And I mean, they used to eat birds back then. You know, I told her there's that whole species of pigeons that were the most ubiquitous species in the world at that time that they wiped out, you know. So they used to eat the bird shot, you know. But a lot of the Christmas bird killing was just to kill them, just to see how many you could find and stuff. I mean, all the Audubon's birds that he drew were just killed birds, right? At some point, white people, we've turned this thing around. Not that I'm claiming real strong membership there, but there's some of that too. I don't know. Culture is the thing, hey? Not so much genetics as to what you're exposed to and stuff, but any case, at some point that turned around, and the white people, mostly the white people, I mean, there's more than white people now, but still mostly white people, come out, instead of killing, come out and count the birds. You know, we have this citizen science thing going on, and that's kind of weird in itself, eh? A little bit. Like, let's pretend that we can actually take a serious inventory of the animals we have. We can't, right? Obviously, but we, if you do the same procedure every year and stuff, you're going to see fluctuations in the numbers and the species and things that actually are important to monitor and are important to make sense of and stuff. And so, you know, sometimes in the process of learning something good, you go through some stupid shit. I guess that's the moral of that story. I still think this bird count is really worthwhile, even though it's in some ways kind of bizarre. Yeah, doing my kind of bird count is not for the feeble of body, that's for sure. Getting my exercise in today. Still no partridges. I was kind of hoping in this area. Scare some up. No luck. Dude, I just saw 4 partridges. The bird I was saying I haven't seen for a while here, like years almost. But they used to be here in a lot more abundance. But then I used to get off trail in a lot more abundance too. And I just saw 4. They went around the bend here, and I'm going to see if we can bump into them again and get them on film for the record. But yeah, 4 Hungarian and or gray partridge counted. Just took a little knee. Slippery. Thought maybe cutting up above instead of right down. Although they did go down. This is a real good area in here for small birds, usually in general. This thicket. It's because it's fairly impenetrable to people. Like, I don't even want to walk this. It's fairly steep with this kind of ice and stuff. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, what'd I say? Woohoo. Back at the south end of the pond now. And the big question is, do I take the easy route along this west end back to the parking lot so I can go home and rest my weary legs, or do I go back around the levee and move through the forest on the off chance of catching at least 1 woodpecker? Because it doesn't make any sense that I have no woodpeckers on my count for this area. Obviously my choice is made. Passing through the forest now. decided to switch over to my iPhone because it looks like the Handycam also is just about out of juice, and I want to save it for anything that I need to like zoom in for. So no sign of any woodpeckers yet. This is the forest that burned up about a year and a half ago or so. So might not be all unexpected that we shouldn't find any woodpeckers living here right now after that fire. Most of them abandoned. Maybe went somewhere else. Thinking, not a whole lot of good insect nutrients in this forest anymore compared to what there used to be. Maybe move around somewhere else, perhaps. That could be the what's going on this year. No woodpeckers. Well, unless I have some unexpected encounters here, I think that's probably it for me before I get back to the vehicle. So that is this year's winter count, or for the birds. Let me see. I'll just read out the totals to you quick. What I got: black-billed magpies 19, ringneck pheasant 6 females, 8 males, Canada goose 2,157, mallard duck 3 males, black-capped chickadee 2, belted kingfisher 1, northern flicker 1, common merganser 4, common goldeneye 4, and the mergansers were all males, by the way. The golden eyes, I should have looked. They're probably in my video, the sexes. Anyway, rock doves 11, merlin 1, partridge 4, and the unidentified hawk as 1.